I wanted to share this just wonderful Paleo, likely Clovis, volcanic glass, bulb of Percussion Flake, Story Stone face and Mammoth Effigy. And this is what's known and accepted to be, in archaeological terms, a bulb of Percussion Flake. And we will see that in a minute. I just wanted to point out a couple of iconographic looks to it. Where the bulb of percussion striking platform was over here, it forms this concentric circle ripple effect from a conchoidal type fracture, and it radiates out. So those conchoidal type, arc type ripples are not etching lines. Those are not etching lines that the Paleo Indians added on stone to image the hair of the faces and the hair of the mammoths. But instead, those are natural pressure percussion lines from the extreme blow from one rock against this striking platform against another rock, and it peeled off this flake, which we'll see in a minute. But right now we have a great impression of a baby mammoth with this little trunk right here, little beak. The percussion strike here with the conchoidal fracture is now the eye of the mammoth, baby mammoth, facing right. And you see even this hair up here has been etched. So we're going to see on this piece that is not only a bulb of percussion flake, but it's also been flaked mainly on the other side, and it's been etched on both sides. Now the etching lines are, some of them are very, very fine, whereby our paleo ancestors probably just used leather and embedded with sand to make the etching lines, because quartz, of course, would be harder than this volcanic glass. And then they use some type of, according to Dr. Michael Gramley, excuse me, they use some type of a stone biface to do the patterned etching, especially the larger grooving etching that we'll see on this piece on the other side. And many of the larger grooves, by the way, are 2 or 3 smaller etching lines all put together. Now, these etching lines are all hand done. There's no machining on this. There's no modern machining on it. And there's no modern tooling on this. This is all done by hand. And basically, modern flint knappers really haven't gotten into patterned etching on flake stone, especially done by hand and without using modern tools. In other words, by using Stone Age stone tools. I don't believe any of them have done that. They certainly wouldn't do it in any type of a forgery type endeavor to make a fake Clovis point, for example, because etching lines on a Clovis point would likely add doubt as to its authenticity, and they wouldn't want that if they were trying to sell it as a fake and as a real Clovis point. So this modern etching has not been done by modern flint knappers up until now, up until this date. I don't know if they'll ever get involved with it and whether or not they can achieve it to this magnitude that the Paleo Indians did. But the interesting thing is that these are all advertised. These are all advertised by the dealers that sell them as completely natural stones, and all of their ads say natural stones, natural crystal, and they all say not modified at all by man, which of course is completely false, because this is all made by man except for the naturally occurring volcanic glass that they made it from. But we'll see that in just a minute. In fact, I'd share that with you. This is the piece here, and the seller identifies it as country of origin, United States, which would be Mount Shasta. Andara crystal, right over here. And shape natural, just natural shape. Well, it's not a natural shape. This is called a Hertzian cone. This is a Hertzian cone. And this is the ventral side, what they call the ventral side. Now, that's the concave side. It's dished out. And this is the striking platform right here, right where that shiny part is there, and along the edge there is where it was struck right there, the striking platform right there. And then you can see the conchoidal fracture that it caused there and the ripples that come off of it. And they use that as the eye of the baby mammoth with its trunk there. Now this eye on the other side, we'll see that in a minute. That was added after this side was flaked. So that was added to as the eye of the human face looking up with the nose over here and mouth down here. Very cool imagery right there of a baby mammoth with a face looking up from the back of the mammoth facing right. When we hold it this way, now we have a mature mammoth with its eye right there. Its eye right there, flake just above the striking platform there. And that eye is great with the big sweeping trunk now looking off to the left. That is an outstanding image of a mammoth now looking off to the left right there. And then we see its hair all etched into the stone. Now that's on the other side that we're looking through a window here. And just very cool. And then when we look at this way, we have another eye here we'll see on the other side that's been completely flaked out. And we have a nose, a pointed nose over here, and hairdo up above the head, looking off to the right. And then we have a bigger sweepy nose over here of an older face, looking off to the left, again using this as the eye. But we'll look at that on the other side in just a moment. But I wanted to share that all, and I can't stress this enough, it's well accepted and agreed that all bulb percussion flakes are man-made. None of them are nature-made ever. None of them are nature-made. This is concave ventral side. This is the convex dorsal side of the piece. And these strikes were likely part of the mother stone before this was knocked off. However, all this material here was added later. Those etching lines, those grooving lines for the hair are just really, really outstandingly done. And there's a lot of pressure flaking involved there as well. All that is pressure flaking everywhere around here. That's all pressure flaked to make the hairdo above the head with this, the eye that's been pecked out, the nose looking off to the left, and this eye, which has been gouged out, and the nose looking off to the right. Just outstanding. And then the interesting thing is they flake this edge right here from here, right up to here, all the way down to here. They took that flake off after the etching had been done. So the etching had been done first, and the last little flake they took off was from here all the way down here, because the etching lines do not go over the edge of that flaking ridge there. And so it was a very well-made piece, likely Clovis. It has a Clovis shape. We see these type of flakes out in the desert all the time. We walk over them all the time. We call them debitage or waste flakes most of the time, but many of them are modified into wonderful effigies and should be inspected wherever you find them, because many of them are modified by adding that eye, for example, that's been pecked into that side right there for the face looking up from the back of this mammoth, using this percussion strike area where the striking platform is there. And using that as the eye of the baby mammoth with its pointed beak of a trunk over off to the right. And of course the mature mammoth with its eye up above here. That eye is really a good eye right there. Right there. Looking off to the left. And again, all of the Andara glass salespeople from around the world, and all of them in the United States, they all, if you look at their label, none of them say that they're flaked. None of them say that they're etched. They say they're not modified, that they're natural stones, and they believe that they were left or something by a peoples that lived underground called Lemurians. And in their ads, you'll see that word Lemurians, that these were people that lived underground in volcanoes. And yes, this is volcanic glass, but folks, there are no Lemurians, and there are no people that live underground and that live in volcanoes. So that folklore has persisted for decades now in the sale of this Andara glass. They say it gives off good vibrations and good healing stone. I'm not saying it doesn't. It could, I think it gives off good vibrations for sure. But these are Paleolithic artifacts that were made over 11,000 years old. So unlike the ads, no, they are man-made. They are modified. They're not, as dealers describe them as being not modified, and they're not completely natural. They're man-made, but they're made out of naturally occurring volcanic glass. And I've done scientific testing on this glass with the Stephen F. Austin State University Geology Department. And in the more section below this video, you can read about the scientific testing results. And Dr. Michael Gramley has also tested this glass used in the production of these Paleolithic effigies. And he has also confirmed, his testing has also confirmed that this is naturally occurring glass and not slag glass, as many people have thought for many, many years now. But it's just beautiful volcanic glass and beautifully worked, flaked and etched. And this is a Hertzian cone that was made by striking this off of a large rock. And that percussion strike left a bulb of percussion right here, which kind of goes out here, a little bulges out a little there, and makes this bulb of percussion flake that is for sure 100% agreed upon as an artifact made by man and not natural whatsoever. So I just wanted to share some of this information. You can buy these for as little as 50 cents on eBay. That's where the bidding starts. If you do, look for the etching, the patterned etching lines. They only did that in Paleolithic times because that's the hair of the mammoth. That eye is great, facing left. The hair of the mammoth and the hair of the faces. So the human faces. So basically, if you see the patterned etching, you know it's Paleolithic and that it's an artifact. Because these were not made 9,000 years ago in the early Archaic. They were made over 11,000 years ago when the mammoth was roaming the world and was revered by our ancient Paleo ancestors. Another great mammoth image with the eye there and looking off to the right, or the eye here even. Wow, just a great stone. But I just wanted to share some information about how this has been mislabeled over the years, and that it's obviously been mislabeled because science has proven that this is what we call a bulb of percussion flake, and it's been extremely modified. So just wanted to share another Lady Nellie Mount Shasta, beautiful volcanic glass, Paleo Story Stone, face and mammoth effigy.